because the apostles responded to this missionary mandate. They went to different places. Many people became Christian, and today you and I are Christians. This missionary mandate is very important in the church, and that is why during the Second Vatican Council, one of the documents of the Second Vatican Council, which is known as Agentes Divinitus, a document on missionary activities of the church. In that document number 38, if you read it, that document stresses the importance of these missionary mandates. And in that document, the document single out the pontifical mission societies, because it is the means by which Catholics are imbued with a truly missionary spirit from infancy. The fathers of the council said that the pontifical mission societies should be promoted because it is through the pontifical mission societies that missionary animation, missionary formation, missionary cooperation and organization can be carried out. After the Second Vatican Council, Pope Pius VI issued a document which is known as Ecclesia Santa in 1966. In that document, Pope Pius VI stressed that the pontifical mission societies should be promoted in all dioceses and its statutes fully observed. He therefore called on all bishops to make sure that they promote the pontifical mission societies in their dioceses. Then the Code of Canon Law, the new code, the 1993 code, in Canon 791, the canon said that in every diocese there should be a PMS diocesan director who will promote missionary activities in that diocese. And every year there should be a special collection for mission in every diocese. Since then, the church has taken this very serious, and that is why in our country, Nigeria, we have the pontifical mission societies functioning in different dioceses, and in all the dioceses, we have the societies and we have diocesan directors. And if I may ask you, how many of you were in any of the pontifical mission societies? Any member of Holy Childhood? Somebody who was in Holy Childhood before? If any, please indicate. Any? Yes, at least we can see one day. Thank you. What of Young Missionary Movement? Have you heard about something like Young Missionary Movement of Nigeria? Any member of Young Missionary Movement of Nigeria? Maybe someone who was a member? Okay, maybe. I think I'm not surprised because I know the pontifical mission societies started in Nigeria about 38 years ago, and the Holy Childhood is just going to be 25 years in 2 years' time. So maybe before that, most of you must have passed the age of the Holy Childhood, but we need to know it because anywhere you go to, today you hear about the PMS. You hear about PMS. And what is PMS? Somebody told me when I was introduced somewhere that I am the PMS National Director. Somebody said, I must be very rich because all the filling stations in this country belongs to PMS. You see PMS. PMS. Next slide, I have PMS. And so what is PMS? Sometimes when people say PMS, they try to confuse it with that of the filling station. The filling station is what? The PMS in filling station, what is the meaning? Premium motor spirits. But our own is not premium motor spirits, but it is what? Next slide, yes. It is pontifical mission societies. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, pontifical mission societies. So from the name, pontifical, you see pontifical, which means from the word pontiff, and then mission, they have to do with evangelization, mission from missio, mitare, to send, and then it is what? Societies, not society. It is societies because the pontifical mission societies is not one society, but there are 4 different societies. 4 different societies founded by 4 different people at different times. 4 different societies founded by 4 different people at different times, but they have one purpose. And what's the purpose of pontifical mission societies? The purpose of pontifical mission societies is promotion of universal missionary spirit among the people of God. These societies, I will say, were founded by the whole church. Why? Because one of them was founded by a lay woman. Okay, 2 of them were founded by 2 lay women. One was founded by a bishop and one by a priest. When you have the bishop, priest, and lay faithful, you have the whole church. So these are the 4 societies: the Pontifical Mission Society of the Propagation of Faith, the Pontifical Mission Society of the Holy Child Association, the Pontifical Mission Society of St. Peter the Apostle, and the Pontifical Missionary Union. We need to know them, because oftentimes when they talk about PMS, what comes to the mind of people is they just think about Holy Childhood. But PMS is not all about Holy Childhood. And some, when they talk about PMS, say, no, it doesn't concern us. Maybe even here in your minds, some may be saying, this PMS thing is Holy Childhood. What is Father doing here? It doesn't concern us. But later you understand that it concerns all of you. So these 4 societies were founded by different people, and we shall briefly look at each of them, what they do, and why it is important that we need to know them. For Pope Francis, the Pontifical Mission Societies are meant to deepen and animate the missionary conscience of every baptized Catholics. They are meant to deepen and animate the missionary conscience of every baptized Catholic. All of us, we know we are missionaries. And these societies, as I said, they were founded at different times by different people. But when they started their activities, different popes saw how they were carrying out their activities. Then in the year 1922, Pope Pius XI made them pontifical, which means they started like any other society in the church, like Legion of Mary, Block Rosary, CW or CMO. They were just like any other society. But in 1922, Pope Pius XI decided to make them pontifical. He made them his own. They became universal means of missionary animation, cooperation, and organization. These societies support young churches until they are able to become sufficient, self-sufficient. And the Pontifical Mission Societies exist through the generosity of Catholics, because one of the things is that when you hear PMS, the Pontifical Mission Societies, when you hear PMS, one thing that comes to the mind of people is money, and that is giving me a problem, because anywhere I go and they say National Director of Pontifical Mission Societies, hey, this is a very big man, very rich man, he has a lot of money, because PMS gives a lot of money. In fact, since I became National Director, some of my friends that used to give me money don't give me money again, because they believe I have plenty money. Yesterday, we are in the cathedral for the funeral of the mother of Father Umo, one of the priests working in the cathedral. And we came together with a priest from the Catholic Secretariat. And his classmate jokingly told him, he said, you are coming from the Catholic Secretariat. They pay you there in dollars. They pay in dollars. So Father said, Father, see what they're saying, they pay in dollars. I said, are you hearing it for the first time? For me, they say they pay me in euro because I work for the Pope, so I get money. But it's not like that. PMS is not all about money, but it is about mission formation. So as I said earlier, that these Pontifical Mission Societies have as their primary purpose the promotion of universal missionary spirit among the people of God. How? They do that through prayer, spirit of sacrifice among all the baptized. The first 3, in carrying out their activities, they invite all baptized Catholics to offer themselves, to express their missionary commitment by offering their prayers, personal sacrifice, and support. The 4th is meant to stimulate missionary consciousness among priests and religious. So in summary, next slide. In summary, you will see that the Pontifical Mission Societies is one institution with how many branches? 4 branches. And what are the branches? Propagation of faith, holy childhood, St. Peter the Apostles, and all of them, they have what? One purpose. And what's the purpose? The purpose is fostering a universal missionary spirit. Universal, because PMS helps us to think about the universal church, not just about their parish. Some priests, they think about only their parish, their diocese. When you ask them to make contribution to support a parish somewhere, they are reluctant to do it. But PMS helps you to think about the universal church and support the universal church through prayer, awareness, and fundraising. So we shall look at the 4 different societies, one after the other, so that at least you know them, to be able to tell people when you meet them. We look at the first one. Next slide. The first one is the Pontifical Mission Society of the Propagation of Faith. It's also known as POF. The Pontifical Mission Society of the Propagation of Faith. It was founded by this young lady. This young lady, her name is Blessed Polymaria Jerichot. Blessed Polymaria Jerichot, a French lady who was just barely about 18 years. She founded the society in the year 1822. At that time, when you read history, you know around the 19th century, it was time for industrial revolution, and it was also time for great missionary enterprise. At that time, many people from France, many missionaries were going to different African countries for evangelization. This young lady, she was a factory worker and thought to herself, how can I contribute to mission? How can I contribute to mission? I'm not a priest, I'm not a religious. And she said she can do something. She can do something. While she was thinking of what she was going to do, she had a younger brother who is known as Phileas. He was a seminarian schooling in the seminary of Sulpice. At that time, wrote a letter to her and told her about the situation of seminarians in some countries, especially China, how people don't have people that will support them. Then she came up with an idea that she would be praying for mission. Then she gathered her friends and asked them to pray for the missionaries, to pray for mission, and then to make a weekly contribution of a penny per day. After opening that group, she asked them, challenged them, go and form another group of 10. That was the beginning of this society. Then 10 people will be in this group. The 10 of them will go and form another group of 10. Every week they meet, they contribute a penny, then they collect the money and send them to missionaries. When the Pope saw the work that she was doing, how they were generating funds to support mission, the Pope took the society in the year 1922 and made it a pontifical society. And the aim of that society is to maintain what? The spirit of Pentecost in the church. What's the spirit of Pentecost? I don't need to talk much about it. You know Pentecost, you know what happened on Pentecost Day. To have that zeal to share the word of God, to go out and proclaim the good news. So this society raises funds for mission. It is this society that promotes the celebration of World Mission Sunday. Is there anyone here who does not know World Mission Sunday? We celebrated the last one when? When was it celebrated? October 20th. Is this society that coordinates the celebration of World Mission Sunday? We celebrate it on every one but last Sunday of October. Every one but last Sunday of October, or in the popular Nigerian language, we say second to the last Sunday of October. Every year. It is a day for special prayer for mission. It's a day that we make contribution for mission, and we encourage dioceses to not only do second collections, but to do launching. We encourage that priests should go on mission on that day. They should exchange your pulpits. If you're in this parish, go to another parish and encourage people to give support to mission. This society promotes that celebration, and that Mission Sunday celebration has been helping us. Because on that day, for example, in Nigeria, all the collections taken, first collection, second collection, tithe, everything is given to the work of evangelization. We say on that Sunday, everything should be remitted in toto et quam primum, in totality and on time. Let me tell you one story small. In one parish in the north, it was Mission Sunday, and the priest told the secretary that tomorrow, when you go to church, go and tell them that next Sunday is Mission Sunday. And that Sunday, everybody needs to give money because we are going to submit that collection in toto et quampremum. And the woman heard it. She didn't understand what the priest was saying. The priest, just when it was time for announcement, asked her to go and announce. She climbed the altar. In English, she managed to say it. But when she came to interpret in Hausa, she said, many of you don't understand Hausa here, but let me just say what she said in Hausa in English. She said, next Sunday is Mission Sunday. And that Sunday is a very special Sunday. That collection, there will be special collection, and that collection will be by people, only people who have toto. They are the ones that will do that. Because the priest said it was that they are supposed to do that collection in toto and et quampremum. So please, when it is Mission Sunday, don't go and speak that Latin to them. Tell them that the collection, everything will be sent to Rome so that it will be used for the work of evangelization. So, but it's in totality. On Mission Sunday, we ask that priests should fast that day, give all the collections. In those days, when you speak to priests about giving all the collections, they will say, what are we going to eat? We shall die. But thank God for COVID. COVID has taught us in Nigeria that we can live without Sunday collections. In some dioceses, some people stay for 6 months, no Sunday collections. Some 3 months, some 4 months, and they didn't die. So please, when you become priest and you are asked to remit everything on Mission Sunday, don't say, what shall we eat? Now, often people will ask, why the mission collections? Why are they asking us to give money on that day? When the missionaries came, they built so many churches, hospitals, and schools for us. And people were wondering, thinking that in Rome there is a machine that used to produce money. And from that place, they will send money to people. There is no machine producing money in Rome. It is the money that people of God contribute that is used in supporting mission work. For example, on Mission Sunday, when we do Mission Sunday, the money is used for so many things. And these are some of the things that I wish you need to know so that when you go out and you're talking to people, you'll be able to talk to them. Next slide, you'll be able to talk to them about what we use the money for. For example, last year in Nigeria, when we celebrated Mission Sunday, Nigeria contributed the sum of 253 million naira. 253 million naira to the Universal Solidarity Fund. Then the whole money that was collected in the whole world was about $70 million. $70 million. For those of you who know how to do calculation, you know it's how many billions. But then, this year, because the money that was contributed last year was distributed this year in May to different countries, Nigeria received about $3 million. If you convert $3 million, is about 60 billion naira. 60 billion naira. 60 billion naira Nigeria received from Mission Sunday. And now you understand why people think that I have money. Because all this money passed through our office. So 60 billion naira. To do what? These are some of what we use the money for, to assist bishops in their pastoral duties, non-spiritual, assist in training of catechists, building churches, presbyteries, convent, diocesan house, communication department, and scholarship for priests studying in Rome. The rector studied in Rome. If you went to Rome on propaganda fidel scholarship, he would testify to you that they were giving him something. So this is what the money is being used. And for those of us in the seminary, we are great beneficiaries, because if our formators who are from in Rome, the money from Mission Sunday was used to informing them, why not use the opportunity to contribute and also talk to people of God to contribute? So these are some of the things that we use the money for, and people think that when they receive money for that, it comes from heaven. It is universal solidarity. When people contribute money from all over the world, it goes to a post that we call Universal Solidarity Fund for the Propagation of Faith. We go to the next society. The next PMS society is the Holy Childhood Association. That one, many of us know it. Or as they call it, MCA, Missionary Childhood Association, Holy Childhood Association. That one is almost in every diocese. Is there anyone here who has not heard about Holy Child Association? Anyone here? Anyone? I think every diocese has Holy Child Association, Missionary Child Association. So it is one of the pontifical mission societies founded by this man that I showed you, Bishop Charles de Fourbin Johnson. He's also a Frenchman. Bishop Charles de Fourbin started this society in the year 1843. He saw the work that Blessed Pauline was doing. When he saw the work that she was doing, and he thought to himself, how can children be involved in this? Then he also read stories about children in different places that were suffering. So one day he gathered the children of his parish and told them stories about how children are suffering in China and different places. They have no food, they have no clothes, and asked the children, what can you do to help them? And the children said, we can help them. We shall go home and tell our parents to give us money to give them. We shall Jesus. And that is why the motto of Holy Child is what? Children helping children. That is the motto of the Holy Child. Children helping children. I want to say HCA, Friends of Jesus. Children, Friends of Jesus. So that society helps our children to be missionaries, even in their infancy. It is for children from the age of 3 to 14. We teach them two things, mainly for them to have the spirit of prayer and sacrifice. Prayer and sacrifice. For them to be able to share. And you know, one of our problems in the Catholic Church is that many of us in the Catholic Church are not generous. The missionaries have spoiled us that we find it very difficult to give. But in the Holy Childhood, we teach children that you need to share what you have with other children. We give them what we call mission bank, and we teach them that when you get money, 10 naira, put 5 naira inside. Then from there they contribute. Then prayer. One of the prayers that they do is this mission rosary. How many of you have seen this rosary? I'm sure you have seen this rosary. We call this rosary rosary. The children's yellow for Asia, blue for Oceania. Yellow for Asia, blue for Oceania, green for Africa, yellow for Asia, green for Oceania or Pacific, white for Europe, red for America, and then green for Africa. When given an adult is going to mission rosary, you offer for the intentions of people in these different countries. So you see the Holy Childhood children carrying this one, praying it, not only them, but all of us who are encouraged to pray for the needs of the whole world. And as I said earlier, the Holy Childhood will teach the children how to share. They contribute money in their mission bank. For second, collect support projects that are for the benefits of children. For example, last year in Nigeria, we contributed about 48 million naira only. About 48 million naira only, but we received over 1 billion naira from that fund to support the following projects. What do? They give ordinary subsidy for the activities of the Holy Childhood in the diocese or the PMS offices in the dioceses. Then they also assist in building nursery, primary schools, healthcare, scholarship for indigent children, homeless babies, and this is given to all the dioceses in Nigeria. Every diocese, every year at least, receives something to support children. Of course, the money may not be enough to reach everyone, because I don't want a situation where someone will say, I've never heard in our diocese, I've never seen it. You may not hear it, you may not see it, but it is happening, and they don't have to come and tell you that they are doing this. When sometimes you hear that Bishop is building school, Bishop is building church, Bishop does not have tree that he flocks money from, but then he gets it from people who supports him. And one of the things that PMS do is support in doing that. So please, when you become priest and they say tomorrow is Holy Child collections, know that it is going to be used for a good cause, which you have benefited from it. Many of you here attended Catholic schools. Some of these Catholic schools that were built with subsidies provided by this. If we have received, why not give? It is so sad that sometimes those of us who are priests, maybe you are not yet priests, those of us who are priests have benefited so much from the church, but when it is our time to give back to the church, it becomes a problem. 2 weeks ago, we celebrated World Mission Sunday, and a priest told us a story of how a priest spoke to the people of his parish. They contributed money. After contributing money, he said, Mission Sunday, me, I'm a missionary. I'm the first missionary. Then he divided the money into 5. Submitted 1 to the diocese. Shop 4. And every day he has been shopping the collection. But for that day, they said, mission, he said, no, I'm a missionary. We are not charitable to ourselves. So please, you laugh at them, but when you become priest, don't do worse. Because some of us may do worse. Then we go to the fourth society. This one is the one that concerns us now. What do you call this one? Pontifical Mission Society of St. Peter the Apostle. How many of you have heard about this society? How many of you heard about this society? If you have heard about this society, St. Peter the Apostle. Yes. Okay, thank you. This seminary. Without this society, it will be very difficult for you to stay in this seminary. Yes. Without this society, it will be very difficult for you to stay in this seminary. You may be able to stay, but it will be very difficult. This society was founded also by this young lady. She's known as Jean Bigard. You have heard of Bigard Memorial Seminary? Bigard Memorial Seminary was named after this lady. So she's the founder of this society of St. Peter the Apostle. She was assisted by her mother, Stephanie Bigard. Polymaraderico was collecting money, sending to missionaries who are working in mission territories. Then Jim Bigard came with an idea of why not, instead of to become priests and become missionaries to their fellow Africans or fellow Asians. Then she started collecting money from people, sending it to mission territories for the training of local clergy, sensitizing people about the need for local clergy, and also praying that the Lord will touch the hearts of young men and women to serve as priests and religious. And God has answered our prayer. That is why about 500 of you, about 400 of you are here in the seminary study. So this society started in the year 1889. Then in the year 1922, Pope Pius XI also made it to become a pontifical society. So up to today, this society promotes prayer for vocation, sensitizes people on the shortage of clergy, on the need for people to become priests and religious. And this society raises funds for the training of seminarians and novices. Seminarians and novices, and that is why here in the seminary you don't pay school fees. Even if you pay school fees, it's something small. Even if you pay school fees, I know that some dioceses they ask students to contribute school fees, but the reason why you don't pay school fees is that your bishops are paying some money, and this society also supports your stay here in the seminary. This society also helps in the formation of formators in the seminary. Those who want to become priests, or some of your formators who are schooling here, if they want to go for further studies, this society can give them scholarship to go for studies. And also this society also supports the formators with some mass stipends sometimes, so that they can encourage them to be able to meet their own needs. The society gets its fund through one of the celebrations that we do in the church, the celebration of Vocation Sunday. Vocation Sunday. When do we celebrate Vocation Sunday? When is Vocation Sunday? Or Good Shepherd Sunday? When do we celebrate it? Every year it is celebrated on every fourth Sunday of Easter. On every fourth Sunday of Easter, we raise funds. That day, there is usually a second collection for support of training of seminarians. So that collection that is taken from all over the world is sent to Rome. Then from Rome, it is sent to different seminaries in the whole world. For example, in Nigeria last year, we contributed about 45 million naira only. 45 million naira only. But Nigeria is one of the countries in the whole world that receives that money. Because at the moment we have about 43 minor seminaries. 43 minor seminaries in Nigeria. We have 20 major seminaries in Nigeria. We have 23 spiritual year seminaries in Nigeria, and most of them receive funds from this society. And as I said, sometimes